welcome or welcome back. I'm Layla, in case you didn't know, you're on my channel. And today I thought it would be fun to kind of do a path untaken kind of thing for a gap year, considering my gap year has been hijacked by Rona. So yeah, I'm gonna just bounce off some ideas. Some of these are things that would only take a chunk of your gap year, so if you've got multiple kind of things you're hoping to achieve, I'm just gonna rattle them off quick fire. Because most of them aren't things that you would do for an entire year, you could mix and match a few if you're contemplating taking a gap year. Have fun with it. I'm sure I would have had an incredible gap year had Miss Rona not stepped in. However, we move. I am sitting on the floor because sometimes I just get that feeling, you know, I just want to sit on the floor and chill. Anyway, let's go. First one is least glamorous, working and saving up. A lot of people take on more than one job or maybe a full-time job and a couple of side hustles online. There are so many ways you can make money online these days. So if your main goal for your gap year is to save up, you should consider side hustles as well and work. Second one, interrailing Europe. This is something I have not done yet, but I'm desperate to. It's essentially where you get this kind of like train ticket that includes certain countries and you plan out your route and you just kind of country hop. So yeah, I definitely want to make sure that I do that for at least maybe like a month in my life. There's nothing more fun than backpacking and kind of meeting people along the way. Third, volunteer in Africa. And this is something that I had planned to do in my gap year, had my gap year been a gap year. But basically there are organizations you can go with that are non-profit and a few that are mostly government funded. So you do some fundraising as well, but you end up going and helping for like 3 months. I do understand that it is a privilege to be able to not earn for 3 months and not have to worry about it, but it just seems like such a rewarding thing to do. Maybe it's something I'll get to do in the future sometime. I know that I've got a couple of long summers during med school, so we'll see how that goes. I'll keep you updated. 4, travel Southeast Asia. It sounds like it's really far away and so would be really expensive, but I've done a lot of research because I was hoping to be in Vietnam right now, but I'm not. Pretty much from what I gather, Southeast Asia is you pay an expensive ticket to get there, but once you're there it's like dirt cheap. So in Vietnam, for example, you wouldn't spend more than £1 or £2 for dinner and it would be like a really hearty meal, you know. I don't have a massive appetite, so I know that I'd be able to make that stretch for like 2 meals as well without much trouble because a bowl of pho is like and you know, incredible scenes, incredible people, meet new people along the way. 5, get a TEFL qualification. TEFL stands for Teaching English as a Foreign Language. There are other versions, TESOL and CELTA. I've got a TEFL. I did it in June of 2020 and it's opened up doors. So I know that if COVID weren't a thing, I'd be teaching English in Vietnam right now. Basically any country around the world that doesn't speak English as their native language takes teachers from native English speaking countries and you could just go and hang out for a few months. I like staying in one place for a longer period of time so I can get to know the people and the culture, find all the secret little dives that only locals know about, and I hope that I get to do that at some point. But right now I'm teaching English online to adults and kids from China, Japan and Taiwan. It's just such a good way to make money from home online. 6, become a digital nomad. This was something that I used to think would be so exciting, just kind of like if you had a way to make money online to just kind of up and go, and as long as you've got a good internet connection and your laptop, you're like set. I've had other thoughts since then because I think that I really need routine in my life, kind of more structure, which isn't something that I thought I needed, but when I come to think of it, the more enjoyable periods of time that I've been away for a long time, I've been working as well. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's something I would do, but it does sound amazing to be able to not be constrained to where you are. So if you've got a way of making money in your gap year online without having to be in a specific place, just go traveling. You don't have to decide where you're going to be when, you can just go. Although I understand not everyone is that spontaneous and needs to kind of like plan it out. Plan it out and be a digital nomad. 7, work at a summer camp in America. I know this is a bit of a like stereotype now with British students and things to kind of like go off to America for summer and work at a summer camp, but I did it in my summer after first year of my undergrad and I expected it to be a one-off, like one of those things I'd always wanted to do. I'll do it, tick it off the list and move on. But I ended up going back for another 2 summers because it was just the most incredible, most wholesome experience ever. You're really impacting people's lives, but you're just having fun for a whole summer. It's work that doesn't feel like work. I can't recommend it enough. If you're a student or you're in a gap year, go do Camp America. Not necessarily with Camp America. I went with USA Summer Camp, but go to camp. Do an internship in your dream field. So if you've got the luxury of having a couple of months you can play with and not need to be earning in that time, or a side hustle that you could keep doing alongside it, get in touch with people in the industry that you're hoping to go into. Talk to them about what you could bring to the table, what interests you in the field, what interests you in that company, and you never know, they might just let you come and do some work with them and get work experience and a great reference, and it will help you kind of get an idea of what you're getting into as well. There are also internship programs linked to universities and things, so if you're not in a gap year and you're at university, you could always get in touch with your career service and see what they have on offer. If you're in Scotland, apply for Saltire. If you're before your penultimate year, so 3rd year I think of uni for most degrees, or 4th if you're doing an integrated master's. If you're in a gap year before you go to university, you could get a vocational qualification. So when I say that, I mean like personal training, nail tech, hairdressing, massage therapy, yoga instruction, something like that you don't have to have a degree to be able to get in whatever you're interested in, and then that can supplement whatever you're working with when you're at uni. Then when you go to do jobs and things like that, you're more qualified and you've got higher earning potential. Kind of along the same lines as a TEFL, to be honest, although the company that I'm working with require you to have a degree. So if you're taking a gap year between school and your degree, there's no reason why you can't go and get a qualification in something that you're interested in and then be able to work in that field alongside your studies. 10. Learn a language. I've always wanted to learn Spanish, and then I took it in my first semester, first year, and flopped. It was so hard. They went at such an insane pace and I was too busy focusing on my science subjects to do well in it, but it's still on the bucket list. And I'm really hoping that one day I'll be able to speak Spanish, hold a conversation. Having another language is really valuable, and I really take this for granted because I speak Arabic and I don't even think about how cool that is until someone hears me and is like, whoa. It makes you more employable, it makes you more cultured, and there are so many apps that have studied exactly how people learn and teach you in a very practical way. So you speak into the app, spaced repetition, pick up a new skill. You could learn an instrument, take up a new sport, anything you've ever wanted to do, photography, coding, editing, whatever it is. It's a great time to learn those things that you maybe want to take forward into whatever you're doing after your gap year. For example, I started this YouTube channel knowing that it's something I want to keep going while I'm at uni. Same with my blog. I just think a gap year is a great opportunity to kind of jump on that extra time that you've got that you've never had before and learn things. 12. Start something online. It could be a blog, it could be a YouTube channel, it could be a newsletter or a podcast. There are so many ideas for ways that you can get involved in things on the internet, and starting something before you start whatever it is you're doing next allows you to have that continuity. You focus on it for a little bit and then you keep it going. It becomes second nature by the time that you're in whatever you're doing. There are a few other things like print on demand. 13. You could start a small business if you like, for example, crafts, and sell your things online. A lot of people are doing that on Instagram now, and it's amazing because everyone wants to support small businesses, but it means that you've got something that's yours, you're completely in control of. There's just so much value in that I can't even begin to describe. Even when nothing in particular is happening with it yet, you just know that there's something that you own. Start a business. If you're interested in entrepreneurship, make yourself a landing page on Squarespace or Wix or WordPress, maybe an Instagram page, and just start kind of putting yourself out there. If it's a service you're offering, if it's something that you're selling, that's definitely the time to do it. And there are a lot of ways to start a business now without spending much money, if any. You could spend time at a sanctuary. So when I say that, I mean like a conservation site anywhere in the world. They're always happy to have people come and help them out, and something I've always wanted to do, but I just can't find a gap. Rona. Now would be my gap, but you know, it's not happening. Go do some work, see some animals, get in touch with nature. Quite often people say that something like that is quite like awakening. It's not something I've experienced, but it's definitely something I want to experience. And you could volunteer. It's one of these things that there's so many forms of that I can't even begin to start listing them all, but you could volunteer at a homeless shelter, volunteer in a soup kitchen, or you could teach STEM to young kids. You could go in and teach music lessons in schools. You could run events fundraising for charity. You could spread the word about certain diseases. There's literally so many things you can do to volunteer. Or you could go into a hospital, for example, and be a befriender. So that's where you literally just go around chatting to patients and kind of seeing how they are, particularly older ones who don't have as much family and friends around them. And it's really valuable. It makes you realize kind of your priorities and values and things like that in life. And I just think it's so wholesome. And you get to know people that are also interested in kind of giving back and supporting a bigger cause. If you enjoyed this, you might also like my gap year playlist. Let me know what you're doing in your gap year, or if you've got any other ideas that I didn't touch upon. I am intrigued, especially if you're in a pandemic. Obviously, I'm in a pandemic and forever making jokes about how my gap year got crushed. It's fine, it's gonna be fine. Anyway, have a great day and goodbye.